Hey Joey, welcome again to the Everblack podcast.
Yes. Good to
First,
be here.
first and foremost, man, how's Flip doing?
You know, slow moving. He's he's not going to be out of the woods anytime soon. This is a kind of life-changing thing for him. And we managed it. We had a local show in San Francisco that was a 30-minute set, and he managed, he lives up north. He lives near maybe an hour from where the show was. So he's able to get there by car. He was able to play the show. And yeah, shortly after that, his doctor said he really can't be doing this. So I will say that because I feel it's okay to say this, he's not coming to Australia with us.
I kind of thought that would be
New Zealand, yeah. Yeah, we just kind of found out. And so we're going to have someone fill in,
yeah.
Which is always a drag. I mean, it's great in a way, but certainly better when it's the original guys, it's just, yeah, some kind of chemistry change. And obviously we're sad for Chris, for Flip, but, he's gotta stick with the physical therapy and, the cardiology and just follow the lead of these doctors. They know what they're saying. They know what they're doing. And we certainly wouldn't want him to be out there, risking his life.
Yeah, of course.
So we're hoping, things come along. He is honestly, all things considered, doing well. It's a long flight.
Yeah,
it's a lot of travel. And
of his stature, like I'm 6'5", so plane rides, hate him.
No bueno, yeah. And he's still in the phase where he's having to do kind of radical stuff on a regular basis at the hospital, and there's stuff going on. So yeah, it's just too soon. And that's the nature of these years. I mean, Jesus, like everything we're doing is just makeup tours from the pandemic and whatever. And then this kind of stuff comes along. And not too long ago, I had some problems physically, so we had to skip another couple tours. And I guess we're just getting old, man. I don't know,
Yeah, join the club.
Yeah, no doubt. So trying to stay positive, but yeah, I think overall he's doing okay.
Awesome. So I take it the benefit gig that you threw for him went well?
Yeah, it was really nice. We talked a lot about doing like a GoFundMe thing, because obviously, well, here in America, I mean, geez, when you have this kind of issue, it's like poor people just die. It's like, forget it. Like, it's just too expensive. And, most of us don't have health insurance. Chris didn't have health insurance. So, we don't have that universal health care here that a lot of people have in the world. Luckily, he was in Germany for the first few weeks and under great supervision and care. And that was sort of a good thing,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice to not just put the hand out and say, who wants to give us money? It's nice to actually play and ask people to do it for that reason. And it felt good, and raised him a decent amount of money. It's just the start, but I think it got him out of the danger zone. There's a long road. We'll see. I don't know. Might have to do a lot of those gigs for Flip,
Yeah, I mean, chuck up a QR code at the Lagwagon shows. I'm sure people would be willing to donate.
That's a good idea. Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's always these kinds of things, or they feel a little bit icky, but on the other hand, it's like we got to help this is our family member here, and there's a lot of misconceptions that people have about bands, like ours. If you've been in a band long enough, a lot of people just presume that you're rich, and they don't really understand. It just isn't that way. But boy, I wish we were, you
Yeah.
know, because then it would just be like, Flip's good. He's got the best care in the world.
Yeah. Here you go.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah,
there.
body. Bring it on, body.
Yeah.
I got
Bring
this.
on my twilight years. It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. But yeah, I think overall he's doing all right.
Awesome. Well, all the Aussie Lagwagon friends, all got it. Chris in our thoughts. And yeah, we're really glad that he's on the mend, man.
Sweet.
So
Thanks.
the last time you guys were here, you played absolutely killer show at the Triffid in Brisbane. How do you guys just keep that energy at every gig?
Well, we don't. Must have been a good one. Yeah, no, all kidding aside, I don't know, man. I've said this a lot, and I always feel like I'm repeating myself when I do interviews because I've been doing them for so long, but it's true, we go through phases, and we've been in a long, really good phase in the band where I don't know, like a certain amount of years ago, probably 5 years ago or more. It's hard to say because the pandemic made everything weird time wise. Like it's
Yeah.
now I go, yeah, that was 3 years ago. And people go, dude, that was 10 years ago. But we've been in a really solid phase where just about every time we get together and play together, I'm always kind of like, nice. We're fucking, delivering the goods. So yeah, it's just been good for a while. I'm not sure why. There's been phases in the band, like I said, where you go through a couple years where you go, well, I guess it's over because where's the chemistry? We're starting to sound like a bunch of old guys, and we just haven't been in one of those phases in a long time. So all is well, and hopefully I'm not jinxing us. You know what I mean? Not that I believe in that stuff, but yeah, I don't know. It's been real good.
Yeah, awesome. Now Lagwagon by request. Who came up
Yeah.
with that idea? I mean, it's fantastic. I love it.
Oh, thanks. I think it was sort of my idea. I mean, the way that went was our management, our manager is a woman named Anna, who's great. We love her. And she said, it's time to go back to Australia. And we were there at the beginning of the pandemic in March 2020. We barely got out of there before things closed.
You guys got to
That's
Melbourne and then had to can the gigs.
We had to can one gig. The last gig was Adelaide.
Yeah.
And every day it was going like 500 people. And then it was like 100 people. And then the day of the Adelaide show, they were like 10 people.
Yeah.
Like how many people can gather in one place. And of course, we were like, wow. We were thinking about doing, let's just finish this, man. It's one more show. We flew to Adelaide. We were there, ready to go. But, 10 people, that's a little too private. And also, at this point, we're realizing, okay, this is serious shit. We got to get out of here. And we got out of there, and it was like the airports were empty. It was weird. But the point I was going to make was, it's funny when she brought up recently, it's time to go back to Oz. I was like, weren't we just there? I mean, we haven't had a new record. Like, should we? I don't know. She's like, no, dude, that was like, 3 years ago or whatever. And then of course we booked it, and then our agent out there, Chris Moses, also old friend, great guy, he hit us up and he said, look, you don't have a new record, maybe you guys got to come up with something special for this tour. And I'm going, I knew it, like we shouldn't even be going, but it doesn't matter because it'll still be great and it's fine. So the albums thing, we've done a lot of those albums, and just about every band has done the album tour thing. I think that's getting a little played out. So I don't know. I just sort of said, well, maybe we should do like an all request thing. We ran it by Chris, and he was like, love it. And the band was like, cool. All right. They're a little scared, because you never know what people are going to ask you to play. But I'll tell you something. I know from doing streaming shows on my own when I've done all request shows, it's weird. There's like 5 songs that everybody asks you to play.
Yeah.
It's just how it works. And Lagwagon, it's like bands don't really have hits, but they still have hits. You know what I mean? Like, and for us, it's like May 16th, Violins, Razor Burn. Like, you know what I mean? There's like this short list of songs that They're always the top requested songs. Even if I'm doing a solo thing, I'm like, God damn it, listen to my solo records. I don't want to play Lagwagon songs on my guitar. But yeah, so I haven't seen it yet. I actually, she sent, our manager, Anna, sent it to me last night. I haven't actually looked at it. I'm going to look at it after the interviews today. I'm kind of excited. I'm hoping there's some deep cuts in there.
I
But
do.
on the other hand, yeah, go ahead.
I lodged a couple of requests.
Nice.
But there was a serious lack of tracks off the debut album, off Duh.
That's my fault.
Yeah,
There's only
like,
yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's funny. The last interview I did, the guy asked me, "Are there any songs that are kind of like a little bit taboo for the band?" And I said, "Well, I can't speak for the other guys, but for me, it's just the first record." And here's the reason: first record, after the first record, we started detuning and tuning down a bit. I was 21, 22 years old then. I'm 50, almost 7 now. Naturally, as you get older, it's just biology. I mean, my voice is getting lower. Some of the vocals on the first record, I just can't do it, even tuned down. I just can't. It'll be crap. And
yeah, fair call.
Yeah, fair enough. It's like, I don't want people out there going, fuck yeah. And then like halfway through the song going, well, this is awful. I mean, so you kind of gotta, you gotta be humble.
Yeah.
And then there are sometimes we did try to do we played I think we played the entire first record at a show like 10 years ago. Wow. And man, I mean, for me, it was just like, I had like laryngitis after like the 5th song. I was like, oh my God, it's just, yeah, I don't know. So I think we limited that. But other than that, I kept saying, well, just every single song. And the list kind of started out smaller and it got bigger, big. And I don't remember exactly where it ended up, but sorry about that. But that is my fault.
It's all good. Do you think you could have done that sort of format show after the release of Hoss or
Sure.
Got Feelings, like just those first few albums? Like, do you think a request show would have gone down well back then?
I'm not sure because we were just kind of getting known, in those years. But for sure, physically, we could have done it. I don't think it was till like the maybe around 2000, sometime in the 2000s, when you start to realize, oh, wow, some of these old songs are tough. And you make new records, so you got more and more newer stuff. There's some songs off of every record we made where I'm like, that one is a bitch to sing for me, as I get older. But a few of those in a set is no problem.
Yeah.
But who knows what would happen if we did a requesting and our whole first record was on there. Geez, it might be like every single night there might be like 8 of those voice killers. I call them the voice killer. And then and if you're not responsible about this, like show 3, there's no singer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Show 3, it's like, hope you guys like karaoke. I'm just the rude boy tonight. I'm just gonna dance, or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I've been there and never want to go back there. But it's always hard to say. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'm underestimating my potential. I don't know. These days, my voice has been pretty strong. So, but yeah, it's funny. I haven't seen the request yet, but I'm guessing it's all going to be mostly like the obvious things.
Yeah,
we'll see. We're supposed to do different sets every night.
I'll be surprised if like May 16th isn't on there.
It's going to be on there.
Just one of those
givens. And it's funny. It's like some of those songs that are always in the set, some you grow tired of. But that one I never do. It's weird. It's always towards the end of the set. Every time it starts, I go, nice. It's like I still like that song. I don't know why.
Yeah. I mean, you were just out here with the Gimmies back in Feb. Thank you so much for the best birthday party ever. I was at the Miami Marquette show, and absolutely awesome. Phenomenal way to spend my 41st birthday.
That's great.
So you've got Gimmies, you've got Lagwagon, you've got your solo stuff. What does downtime look for Joey Cape?
Not much of that in my life. I mean, my solution has always been more projects, more music. Um, Lately, I've had a little bit of downtime uh, as far as creation goes because I moved about 6 months ago, and every time I move my home studio, and so there's always like a little bit of an interim period where I'm just kind of trying to get something set up at the house, and I'm just about done with the newer place, you know. So when you have a home studio, it's kind of like, well, if I have any time off, I just take projects on, you know, and I just start working. I at least write and record things, and sometimes I make a solo record. And, but yeah, so I'm just about to get back into that. Probably within the next week, I'll be up, and it's kind of up and running already. But there's still a little more sound, you know,
Yeah,
stuff to do, soundproofing,
yeah,
and
don't
yeah. But
names.
I don't really, I don't have a lot of downtime. It's just I get too bored.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
that's what you
same. Always have something on the go.
Yeah, man. I mean, if you don't have a real job, I mean, I always say like my job is too joyous to be real, you know. So I just try to stay busy, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%, man. Now, I mean, you were here with the Gimmies, and we've got nofx coming out next year on their farewell tour. So hopefully, you know, Mike stops skiting off his duties for the Gimmies and jumps back in, unless he's just going to be too busy counting money.
Well, he hasn't played with the Gimmies in a long time. I
Yeah.
mean, I think he's really focused on the nofx final shows. And oh boy, I saw the sets look cool. Like they're doing a lot of records. It's like 3 shows every town, or
Yeah.
2 or 3.
But 2 shows in Brisbane. I think
Yeah.
it's 2 shows per capital city, and each one is 3 different albums.
I mean,
Like,
it's gonna be killer.
that's fan service at its finest, right there. I mean, it
I
goes,
know.
you know, with the by request show as well. Like, it's fan service. Like, you're giving
Yeah.
us what we want to see. But yeah, on the back of that, like, do you think that Lagwagon will ever go the farewell tour route?
You know, I don't know, but I have said many, many times that I never want to do that. I think just sort of fading out, fading away, you know what I mean, is a much more, it's better posture. I get really tired of the farewell tours because I don't know if you've noticed this, but it's quite a few bands that I won't name that have done several of those. You know, it's like, you know what I mean? Like they do the farewell tour, and then like 3 years later, they're like, hey, we're back. And it's another farewell tour. And you're like, uh, you know, and then the third time you're like, okay, fool me once, shame on me, or whatever the saying is. Yeah. And so I don't know. I'll just say, like, I think the Ramones did it like 3 times or 4 times, you know, and I love the Ramones. So it was always like, oh, great, the Ramones are back. But then it was like, hey, dudes, cut it out. You know what I mean? Stop saying that.
Yeah.
I think it's much cooler just to kind of, you know, disappear.
Yeah.
Why make an announcement? It seems a little bit like a grab, you know, but I don't know. And then I have to say, I don't know, because, you know, the band is a democracy. Like if there's ever a point where it's like, okay, we're done, you know, too many people are sick. It's not just Flip. Now we're all sick. Something like that happens, and it's just not possible. And who knows? But I don't see it happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
It
Now,
depends.
yeah, very much so. Now, you guys always have great supports at your shows when you come out here. Last time, Flanger Panties just absolutely killed it.
Brad.
Is there any other Aussie locals on your list, like on the Joey Cape hit list to tour with or work with?
Well, I mean, you know, it's funny. It's like by the time they're, you know, like I always feel like when you answer that question, the better answer, the best answer is always very simply, a lesser known band.
Yeah.
Because then you're like giving them a boost, you know. But what pops into my head immediately are Clowns. And it's just because I fucking love that band, you know. And I think I don't even think we've ever played a show with them. I don't know. We'd have to ask them. I don't recall playing with them. And then you know what happens to us is by the time we're hip to the band, an Aussie band or whatever, like, God, those guys are the shit. They're too popular.
Yeah.
Because we're playing the same clubs we've been playing forever and ever, everywhere in the world. So by the time people know about a band or we know about a band, it's like, oh yeah, mate, you'd have to open for those guys. And then it's like, okay, we'll open for them, but you know, it just doesn't work out or something. No, you know, it's funny. I'll tell you, I should be able to give you a list, but I would have to go to email and look because my memory is shit. But every time we go to Europe or we go to Australia or we go anywhere really, there's usually a whole submission list of local bands from different towns. And I have this really great luxury and like, I don't know why this happened, but over the years, it sort of lands on me. You know, like our manager will send me like all these links for every city. There's like 5 Brizzy bands, bunch of Melbs bands, you know what I mean? And it's the best, man. I usually sit down with my partner, you know, and I go, all right, you ready? You know, maybe make a cocktail and just sit there and listen to the bands. And it's particularly cool for Australia because there's always a bunch of killer bands. Yeah. You know, it's actually kind of difficult. I have to do the like, well, this is my favorite because it fits and I really like this band. And also like there's a bunch of criteria. Like sometimes it's like, what would make a cooler show? Don't want them to sound exactly like our band because everybody's seen that crap where it's like all 90s punk or whatever. And it's like, you know, by the second band, you're like, all right, I'm bored. Yeah. But so it's tough. But yeah, I just did that like a couple weeks ago, and now I'm sitting here just racking my brain. Man, I'll tell you what, while we're finishing this interview, I'm going to try to find the list, and then I can show you the ones that I picked. It's like I'm really excited about playing with it. I'll say that.
Okay. So
whoever the openers are, I picked them from a list. And that means that I thought they were killer bands.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Got good taste then.
I hope so. I mean, you know.
So, I mean, yeah, you're coming back. Well, geez, it's not too far away. It's only a few weeks away.
Yeah.
So anything in Australia that you are looking forward to, like anything that's food and beverage wise, attraction wise, that you're keen to see while you're here?
Well, it's really tough. I mean, the general thing for me is friends. I have a lot of really good friends in Australia, everywhere.
Yeah.
And long-time friends, you know what I mean? Like I have friends that I've known for 30 years that live there, you know? And so that's probably number one. Hi. No, it's all right. So that, and then, I mean, food is a huge thing. There's a place in Melbourne called the Moroccan Soup Kitchen, Moroccan Soup Bar. It's out in North Fitzroy.
Yeah.
And it you know, it's Moroccan food and it's so, but you know, it's weird. I actually think I think maybe they closed.
I was about to say I'll head there next time I go down to
Victoria. Yeah, no, but
I'll head there.
I'm having this vague memory that my friend Tash told me they closed, which is heartbreaking. I'm trying to think of what else. I mean, yeah, like in Brizzy, it's like record stores.
Yeah, we've actually got a really good one on the Gold Coast because I'm a bit of a vinyl.
Yeah.
So,
well, we have more shows this time than, you know. Sometimes it's only like 3 towns, 4 towns, and this time there's enough that So, vinyl records always a thing in Australia for me. I found some gems over the year. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just as simple as it is an island, so sometimes you can find the finds, that just somehow haven't like gotten too tarnished by the internet world where everything's available all the time. That's kind of wrecked the search, but I still find some gems. And food, friends, a couple of pubs, but I'm not really drinking these days, so yeah.
And on the subject of vinyl, I actually found a copy of Hoss in a back street in Tokyo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Weird.
It's in Shibuya, like in the back streets of Shibuya.
Yeah.
There's a two-story record store. I walked in there. I was just going through the punk section. Yeah, there was Hoss.
Was it Tower Records? Was it a Tower?
No, not Tower.
No, like an indie one.
Yeah.
I mean, they have some killer record stores in Japan, especially Tokyo.
I found the original Offspring album. I found Bad Religion. I found so much good stuff over there. I'm like, I'm going to have to buy another suitcase just for vinyl.
There was a time where the Japanese thing was just so rad because they insisted that there were like extra tracks. They used to do that. You literally would like be dealing with the distributors and they go, yeah, we're only interested unless you put a couple of extra tracks on there. And there was a copy of, I think it was Blaze by Lagwagon. And oh man, I mean, somewhere in storage, I've got like the Japanese version. It's got extra songs on it.
Yeah, right.
So if you ever go to Japan again, I mean, now I'm thinking I got to look for that because I think there's like a couple songs on there that were like never released otherwise.
Oh, wow.
It's super weird. One of them, I think, is just like a jam. So dumb. One of them is like this long, and I think we even call it like jam sesh, or it's got like a dumb name. There's no vocals in it. It's just like this, whatever. Yeah. Oh, no, I think it's called Leon's Jam because we call Chris Rest, we call him Leon. That's his nickname. Dude, yeah. And then there's like an alternate version of a song on it. But anyway, they used to do that and not so much now. I think, the world just keeps changing that way. But those are the coolest things that you can find in Japan. You find these releases of like favorite records here with like extra songs.
Yeah.
It's just the coolest thing.
They've got so much good vinyl over there. Like, in Australia it's very, very hard. And the ones that are out there are pretty much snapped up by collectors anyway. So
yeah, it's been a long time since I had that find.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but there's still some finds for me every once in a while. But yeah, I've had two experiences in Australia where I found things that are in my record collection that I had been looking for years.
Yeah.
Years and years. And then just one time it was the coolest fucking thing. I was with my friend from Gold Coast, Laura Martin, and we were in Brisbane and we were what's that place? Rocking Horse. I think it's Rocking Horse Record.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Rocking Horse Record. Yeah, and it's kind of cool little record store. And we walked in there and I had a list. I used to carry this list of records I needed to find. It was so crazy. The top two records on the list, I looked over and there were end cap and records that were end capped, that were displayed, vinyl records. And I looked and I went, oh, and it was like this fucking, soundtrack to this movie called Angel Heart.
Yeah.
There was the original soundtrack had a version of a song called Girl of My Dreams that was like one of my favorite songs ever written. It was this specific, really haunting killer version of that song. And then something happened, like it always does in those worlds with publishing where you can never find it again. And there it was, like a used right in front. And I grabbed it, pulled it out, and right behind it was number 2. I mean, what the hell? And I literally was like, oh my God. And everybody's looking at me. You don't understand. 2. Yeah. And another time there was another band from Michigan, Detroit in the States. And the only place I could find this band, King Usnevich. It's like this terrible band that I love. And I found all 3 of their records on vinyl in Australia.
Wow.
Never seen them anywhere else.
Well, if you want to come hunting down the Gold Coast again, I've got a few haunts to hit. So you're welcome to
drive me.
Yeah.
dude, come grab me, man. I'm always up for that.
I'm,
Yeah, let's do it.
sounds like a damn good plan, man. I know that your downtime in on this tour will be a bit hard to find, but
Yeah, it
want to go
depends. I
vinyl
mean,
hunting? I'm in.
oh yeah. Well, I mean, there's usually time for that. It's usually like it's all about like what time is sound check and what time do you eat. There's the drama is only like, well, there's travel every day, so maybe I'd be speaking too soon to say I definitely have time in Gold Coast, but you never know. I mean, usually there's time,
I'll
but
rip.
sometimes it's like, yeah. But hey, if you're around, man,
Uh,
just come by the
I'm a
venue
Gold
if you have
Coast
time.
local. Yeah, I'm a Gold Coast
Yeah,
local, so yeah,
yeah. Pop by and grab me. I mean, I'm always into that.
yeah. That
I'll make time if. Usually, I mean, just like it's like you can't eat too close to showtime or whatever, that kind of dumb stuff. And sound check is almost always around 3 or 4.
yeah.
And so it's kind of like, yeah, yeah,
Anyway, we'll wrap up there, man. Thank you so much for your time today, Joey. Really do
yeah. No, it was a
appreciate it.
pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and we'll see you in a few short weeks, and yeah, do some vinyl hunting.
Stoked. All right, man.
Thank you so much.
All right, cheers. See you, man.
See you, man.